November 25th, 1864. The temperature hovered near zero as Kit Carson and 335 soldiers crept toward a sleeping Kiowa village. They had 2 cannons, they had rifles, and they had orders to burn this camp to the ground. What they didn't have was any idea they were about to trigger one of the Army's most desperate fights in the West. At first light, Carson gave the order. The howitzers roared. Cannon fire smashed through teepees, scattering women and children. Cavalry charged through the smoke, torching food stores, taking prisoners. Within an hour, the village was gone. But then, movement on the horizon. Dust clouds, signal fires. This wasn't just one village. It was the edge of a massive Comanche and Kiowa encampment. And now, hundreds of warriors were coming. Carson's men barely had time to dig in near the river when the first wave hit. Comanche riders, some hanging beneath their horses' necks, closed in at full gallop. Arrows whistled overhead. Rifle fire cracked through the cold air. The soldiers scrambled to build a barricade from fallen trees and saddles. The cannons fired again and again, barrels glowing red-hot. Still, the warriors came. By afternoon, Carson's men were surrounded, low on ammo, hauling wounded comrades behind burning wagons and facing the full fury of the plains. That night was endless. No fires, no sleep, just the moans of wounded men and the constant fear of another attack. At dawn, Carson made his decision. They had to run. The retreat was brutal. Wagons groaned across frozen ground. Abandoned gear littered the trail. Frostbite blackened fingers. But the Comanche, satisfied with their victory, let them go. When Carson's broken column finally limped into Fort Bascom, one thing was clear. The Army had badly underestimated its enemy. For the Comanche and Kiowa, this was proof. Proof they could stand against the Army's best. But victory came at a cost. Within a decade, buffalo hunters would flood the plains. The railroads came, and the world that made warriors like these so formidable vanished. Today, all that remains are crumbling foundations and competing memories. To the Army, it was a failed raid. To the Comanche, a warning that went unheeded. The real story of Adobe walls isn't about who won that frozen morning, but about what was already being lost. Want more untold stories from the Old West? Smash that subscribe button and tell us in the comments which battle we should cover next.